Wiebe is right here to join us this morning on Power Solutions. Before Wiebe comes on, it's only right for us to bring him in the right way. And this is how we commence.
My country people, yes, them go talk, them just the parambulates. So story heavy, never no bring light, never no bring light,
Well, NEPA, no bring lights, NEPA, no bring lights. Those words are very, very, very popular around here, and that's a statement of fact. Wiebe, good to have you this morning again on the show. It's a delight to see you. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm good, Collins. And you said I'm your best co-host ever. Maybe I'm your only co-host ever. I don't know, but I can't say the same because I co-host a show with Femi, your Oga, and if I say you are the best, then he might vex. So I'll stay out of that one.
Absolutely. Well, we do have a guest. It's always a delight to have you bring our guest today. I'm seeing him smiling there. A perfect gentleman, I would like to say. Well, who is our guest for the sake of the listener?
All right. So our guest today is Bankole Oloruntoba. He's the CEO of the Nigeria Climate Innovation Center. And from the way he was singing along with that Rara song, I think he might also have a side hustle as like a backup singer to techno. I'm not sure, but he'll have to confirm. So Bankole, thanks for coming on today. How are you?
Thank you very much, Wiebe. I'm very glad to be here. And talking about backup singing, well, if techno is ready to pay, I can also be his backup singer. But then, Thank you very much for having me. Collins, I've listened to the show a few times. And I'm really glad to be connected with you this morning. So,
thank you. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you. So, Lagos, we're talking about building viable, renewable, energy-driven ventures in Nigeria. That's quite lengthy, right? So, get it. We're going to break down what that means right here with Bankole Oloruntoba, who is our guest right here on the show. So, I just want to go very quickly, get into it. You're an expert, no doubt, and you by the way, you're the CEO of Nigeria Climate Innovation Center, right? And I'm correct with that. So tell us about your background and your role at the NCIC.
Well, like I jokingly say, my role sometimes can be the chief coffee drinker, but I'm the CEO of the NCIC, so it's my role to lead everybody towards in the right direction, and also take the heat if anything hits the fan. But I have to make sure everybody's happy from all stakeholders, the board of the business, find the right partnership, manage the partnership, and also create a few more new opportunities for everyone around, and merge the businesses that we deal with also with investors and other financiers. Yeah.
All right. So Bankole, you're coming out a bit soft, so you might need to speak up when you talk. Okay. It's not coming through very clear. But listen, so we know that the NCIC was launched on September 2018 by Nigeria's vice president. So you're getting on 2 years now. What have you accomplished in the NCIC? What does it focus on? Just tell us about the organization.
So it's been 2 years of topsy-turvy, but the NCIC has its foot, its 2 feet on the ground, and we're running, efficiently. So in the past 2 years, we have been, looking through the possibilities of having a green economy in Nigeria, looking at how we can create, a better value chain ecosystem and put the best of stakeholders together, which Olon and Wiebe is one of our strongest stakeholders. We have built startups of over 30 so far, and we have been running the climate Launchpad program which will also be launching the one for 2020, in a few weeks in a few days, in 3 days, particularly on the 20th of August, we're having that. And that one will be having, the Honorable Minister of, State for Environment, that is Sharon Ikiago, there, and also Sean Sean Melbourne from the British Government Climate Office. And so we have been building this, this ecosystem, and trying to see how we can create a more structural and coordinated ecosystem where you can find the best of information and access to opportunities and finances within the green economy.
We know that one of the key areas of focus of the NCIC is renewable energy. So I would like to know why. Why is that important? And also, what other sectors of the green economy do you focus on?
So first things first, that power, when there's power, everything else works. So when I listen to my bosses like Wiebe hammering a lot around power, you should know that power, it is a lot more significant when there's access to, to just about every time you need power. And so for us, we see that renewable energy is also another, not even an alternative way to go anymore, but should become the mainstream source of power for most, for most possible activities. Renewable energy for us, cuts across it all. Solar is one of the lowest hanging fruits, right, in renewable energy. And then you've got biofuel also, you've got hydrogen and all that. And but all those ones are still a bit more infrastructure driven, and it takes quite a lot of they're a bit more capital intensive. Solar is also capital intensive, but when we look at organizations like like we see around Olon and rest of them trying to finance and scale up businesses that can also open up a lot more opportunities for others. For us, what we think is that look, we should look for those other businesses that can rely on this power that has been generated, to be able to provide other needs. And so we see renewable energy as, as the number one priority first, while others are equally priority areas. But renewable energy for us is very close to our hearts. We are all tired of, generator breaking the backyard every day. And so you've got water also. Water is there, and all of its innovative uses. You've got, waste management and the whole circular economy as a whole. And then you've got sustainable buildings, you've got, sustainable mobility, so that green cars and, name it. And then, you have climate smart agriculture. So these areas for us are quite priority areas because for climate smart, we can solve, food security problems using less resources. And so if you find out quite a number of people can build, can farm on the roof, on the side of their houses, in abandoned cars, abandoned buildings, and all that. So we can make the best of every resource that we find out there, to create food opportunity. And for waste management, for us, we see just beyond, burning and evacuating waste. We see waste as also another source for renewable energy. So some of the things that we have also been pushing is to see how we can leverage on the high level of waste that is being generated in this country. Plastic is almost running all of us out of business. For as much as this is a problem, this is equally a fantastic resource that can be turned into renewable energy, that can be turned into building materials and all that. So we keep looking at all these different sectors and bringing out turning the worst into the best.
Wait, before we comes on, I mean, you mentioned a very important aspect, which I just want to emphasize again. It has to do with changing, turning turning waste to wealth, right? Is very key. So, I mean, if that could be done, that means that would solve like half of the biggest problems in Lagos right here, because a lot of waste is wasting right here in Lagos.
Exactly,
just to mention.
Waste.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. So Bankole, today is an exciting day. We're going to be you're going to be announcing the 8 winners of the embryo program, and I hope they're all listening. Listen, tell us a bit about this program. You mentioned briefly I think there's 2 major programs you do each year. One is starting soon, but tell us about the embryo program and how it started and how it works, etc.
Okay, so the Embraer program is a flagship program for us. It's about a 5-month incubation program, and during this session, this is where we get to understand the business model of either the ideas or the early stage businesses that come to us. This is hand holding session where each of these businesses that don't have the needed structure, to be able to build a functional business, we provide all that support for them. Helping them understand the markets where they are playing in, helping them access, some of the best information and possible resources also. Looking at their business model to make sure that it is viable, because every business comes around and then they tell you, oh, we're looking for investors. But when you do a little bit of background check, you get to understand things like business model is not there, it is not even viable, it's not functional in any way. Governance does not exist. I mean, we have all learned that in a very hard way. Governance is very important. Product fit is equally very important. So you don't build a product just for yourself. Those crazy eureka moments after eating a big bowl of gari, and then you build this product and say, no, we don't hammer, we don't blow. But then at the end, the market really does not even need it. So we help them understand product fit, market fit, targeted customers or priority customers, and also the different kind of resources and also partners that they need, on the side to move their business forward. So this is a very highly intensive, program where each of these businesses, we go through each of these businesses one, and then we also help them see the dream. So part of the early things you do when you come through through the Embraer program is that we help you understand that if you have a chance to be in a global paper, media platform, how would you like the headlines to look like? So just a simple line like that, it helps entrepreneurs see things differently. And so for us, the Embraer program, we think is a very key, tool to be able to build more businesses within either the renewable energy or the whole green economy as a whole.
Lagos, you just heard.
And also doing this, maybe if I can add a little bit.
Okay.
This is our second Embraer program, right?
Okay.
But this second one is a bit interesting from the last one, because 8 businesses that we will be mentioning today are going to be earning $10,000 grants, and sponsored by none other than wonderful gentleman sitting beside me.
10,000. Did you say 10,000?
Yes.
By the way, whenever you hear this, that means something has happened. So yeah, absolutely. So guys, in case you are, missing out, you just joined in, you've missed out a few things. We're having a conversation with the amazing Bankole Oloruntoba. He is the CEO of the Nigeria Climate Innovation Center. He just talked about their Embraer program, which of course you heard that a number of people get $10,000 to support as far as their business concerned. But I'd like to know, because the next question is, how did we get there? How did we select? So could you take us through the process of this program? How did you select participants? What were the processes and the procedures you used? What training did they receive, and questions like that? How would you want to respond to that?
So the process itself is quite tedious itself, because in you trying to select, some of the ideas that you think are very viable, you also need to look beyond someone just writing a beautiful piece of, piece of concept notes.
Yeah.
So usually we do a call for entry, and when we do that call for entry, we make it open to everybody. So this is a free and fair, call for entry. You don't need to know us. You don't need to know me. You don't have to call me. Just apply. And fill in the form as with the best information about your business.
That's right.
So when businesses do that, the first line of selection will be done in-house. So that in-house selection is mainly to weed out the non-renewable energy businesses. Because we've seen, when you do call for entries, I can tell you, for over 10,000 entries that you find, the renewable energy ones might just be about 1,000. Everybody else just tells you, oh, I sell solar, I sell, I repair and I install, which is also good, right? It is part of the value chain. But what we're looking for are those businesses that when you scale, they can create X number of jobs in less than X number of years. So for us, we're looking for innovation-driven businesses, not small, medium scale, enterprises. So So we have a difference for us. IDEs are our priorities.
Okay.
SMEs fill up that that value chain to make the renewable energy space very viable. So when we do that first line of selection, where we weed out the renewable energy, so we call out our next stage of selection that brings it to about maybe depending on the size of entries. I think for this last entries we had almost 100, and so the first line of selection we did it to about 60 or so, or 62, and then the second stage, we're looking at things like what is the business idea like. So once we just look at the basic things like idea and who is saying it, does the person really understand the market? So that first line we use it to maybe about 20 or 25. So the final stage will now be that is it really even viable? How easy is it to get to where it is? How quick can it get to market? How functional it is? So sometimes you might see a product that is being designed that can equally upscale or make it more efficient for other businesses to be able to work. So we keep looking at things like business models. So if this idea sounds like a B2B, it sounds good. If you say B2C or B2G, name it, it sounds very good. So so that final stage now reduces to the level of businesses that we need. And sometimes we get wild cards. So there are some people where maybe after you've gone through the entries again and again, you might just find just one business, some way, somehow, that fits what you're also looking for. So we started this year's own with about 15, but 12 finally completed the program. Okay. Even when Corona, even when the lockdown started, we had to shift what we're doing from physical engagement. And then Collins, they all come from different parts of the country, from the north, from the east, west, and south. So we try to bring them to Lagos almost every week or every 2 weeks, to be able to learn more and meet the businesses and also understand the dynamism and the energy of Lagos. And then we take that, they can go back to their places. But because of the lockdown, we were able to shift from physical to virtual, and it was seamless. So they were able to concentrate a little bit more, and there were more times to be able to talk to mentors, facilitators, coaches, and all that before we get to the completion stage. So it's been a wonderful journey of about 8 months, if you ask me. 5 months for the program, about 3 months to handle selection, and course, and the like.
Man, it must have been very tough to make that switch, Wiebe.
Yeah. So listen, but before we run out of time, let's now focus on the companies that are of the finalists. I mean, you said about 100 applied. Now we're down to 8. And these 8, each one, like you said, are going to win $10,000. And it's funded by the Rockefeller Foundation and All On. And so I think, this is what we've been waiting for. And so that we don't have to now rush this at the end.
Absolutely.
And then be running out of time. I want, so Collins is gonna announce the 8, and then after each one is announced, then Bankole will describe a bit about what the company does. So Collins, man, in your best Collins Teke voice,
nice.
booming Collins Teke voice, give us who's the first finalist, who's the first of the 8 that's winning this.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first finalist for this very, very innovative idea is Afrinet Power.
Shake now. Yeah.
A round of applause. Someone should be clapping for that. So Afrinet Power is an innovative IoT-enabled power device that aids smooth interaction between DC systems and appliances in the building. So he's the first winner of this prize. So maybe we should make it this. Stand up for the champions, right? So maybe at the end of all the names. Also on the lists, if you're not listening, if you know them, let them know that they're being announced on radio. We have Bin Energy. A lot of applause for Bin Energy. Absolutely. So I'll tell you a few things about Bin Energy. Bin Energy is using biogas, digesters, organic waste that would, otherwise go into landfills, and also fermented produce methane gas for power generation and carbon dioxide for other applications. Also, as a byproduct fertilizer for farming is also achieved with that. So bottom line, what Bankole talked about, I mentioned just a while ago. Also, the third on the list is Climate innovation mottos. Yeah, just put the imaginary claps in your mind so we can run through this. So, yeah, climate innovation mottos. Congratulations to you. You know, you provide sustainable and climate-friendly transport solutions through the development, sales, and management of solar electric vehicle charging stations for home, office, and public use. I think that's quite innovative, and that's why you've won yourself $10,000. Wow. And the fourth on that list, we're going to 8. Don't forget, the fourth on that list is Home Fort Energy. Now, they use proprietary IoT smart meter to empower low-income households switch from dirty domestic fuels to cooking gas using affordable pay-as-you-go technology. I mean, that's a solution right there. Congratulations to you, Home Fourth Energy, for also being a part, winning that for yourself. I'm happy for you, really happy for you. Also, the fifth name, a winner from this is My Solid Bid. Ladies and gentlemen, My Solid Bid, a round of applause for My Solid Bid. They have a user-friendly web platform that sensitizes and increases the use of solar energy by enabling individuals compare multiple solar quotes from varied installers. And that's quite innovative. And the gentleman, our guest there, find, and the team, and of course, Wiebe also find that's quite innovative, and $10,000 yours just like that. Oh, number 6 on the list, before we finalize, is Card Cycle Nigeria. Card Cycle Nigeria manufacturers, electric vehicle from last mile light transportation and setting up of solar charge stations of solar EVs. I'm sure you can get more information about this, all this group, of course, after the show. We'll post this video out there, possibly give it information. So congratulations to Card Cycle Nigeria. The 7th on the list this morning is Solef. Solef, spelled S-O-L-L-E-F. Solef, as an IoT device built with a sole aim for rotating solar panels in an off-grid system to improve the efficiency of the solar system. Congratulations to Solef too. A big congratulations to you. Number 8. So we're going to 10, right? 10?
8.
Absolutely.
Just 8.
Okay. So, number 8. We have the 8 because I have that longer. 8 is Quad Loop. Quad Loop is number 8 on the list. So what they do, they build solar-powered IoT system devices that help monitor the level of the CO2 and gas leakages, as well as solar lamps for, peri-urban settlers. And that would call it a day for the number of winners, right? 8 of them. That's 8. Are we done with the 8?
We're done with the 8.
Absolutely.
Thank
so
you.
Congratulations to all of them. For a moment, let's celebrate them, please. It takes a lot. Out of 100, 8. So if we're going to
a long journey.
If we're going to extend the show to the very end, maybe till tomorrow, I'm sure management will understand that. I'm just kidding, by the way.
All right, thank you, Collins, for using
so
your
much.
Collins Teke voice to announce them. So I hope all 8 of them were listening and have heard.
Yeah.
So, Collins, this is the first announcement. Like, this is the breaking news, the exclusive for this.
Absolutely.
It hasn't been released, so this is the first that they're knowing of this.
Wow.
So, Bankole,
Yeah.
has anybody called you yet? Are they calling you to find out?
Look, they've been buzzing, asking when. Like,
Yeah.
oh, guys, hold on. Someone even said, "Are you sure? Sir, just tell me a little bit. Just tell me who and who. You don't have to mention my name." I sit down. Wait, hold on. So this is an exclusive breaking news, and everyone, everywhere across the world, this is the first announcement anywhere.
Yeah.
And thank you for using the Collins Teke voice. I love it.
Absolutely.
I think we keep doing it.
Yeah.
Thank you
And
so
actually,
much.
One of these in particular, I want to highlight the one that was number 7. And again, the 1 to 8, there's no particular order. It's just they're all equal finalists. But the one called Solef, my understanding is that this is a group of young ladies from University of Lagos who had gone through the Rural Electrification Agency sort of internship program, and then came up with this business idea and launched it on their own. So it's a great example of what the whole incubation process is for. Young people with a great idea, straight out of school, putting something together and then trying to, get some guidance on how to make that into something real. So it's a great story. So
yeah, and also Collins, if you also see, right, all the businesses you find there, I know your typical I sell solar kind of, or I install solar kind of business.
That's right.
These are innovation-driven enterprises that can equally make it easy for other businesses to be able to scale for. Like solar, for instance, if you install a huge, some sizable mini grid, and you need to constantly rotate to follow the sun, solar is your best person to make it work. So for us, we're looking at those innovative-driven businesses that can further scale up the possibilities of a larger market.
That's right. Well done. I must say, well done to both of you. Well done. I don't know what I did. Okay, I announced the name. So well done to all of us. And to the listener.
Well done to you too, Colin.
to the listener, thanks for being a part. Thanks for making this a complete conversation. Without you, we'll be talking to ourselves, actually. So thank you again for being a part. And I must say a big thank you to Bankole Oloruntoba, CEO of the Climate Innovation Center. Thank you again for that great innovation. And congratulations to the champions. If you can hear, for the champion, stand up. For those of you who won, so that's a call to action to all of you who are looking for what the government would do or have not done. Start doing something. There are opportunities like these waiting for you. If I were you, I would start doing something, not tomorrow, right now. Wiebe, thank you again. Next week we'll be here again for another episode, right? Absolutely. So guys, bye for now. The show is over. Absolutely. What are you waiting for? It's over, man. We're going. The news is coming up right after this.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. It was nice having you around. Cheers. Okay.